There are plastics in our food. Oh yeah. I'm Michael Nicks-Erickson and welcome to the Foodivist, a continuing series of videos dedicated to our food, who controls our food, what is in our food, and the laws surrounding our food. Let's start just by saying that plastics are everywhere. It's intertwined in fabrics, in our cars, in our cookware, in our water, and yes, even in our food. Now, I'm not saying that you're gonna bite into a hamburger and like find a bottle cap or something like that, but the likelihood of you biting into that hamburger and ingesting microplastics is incredibly high, if not guaranteed. Microplastics are everywhere and in everything. Beyond aging and the expected breakdown of a product that comes with it, MPs can also be created due to everyday activities. Actions like twisting a bottle cap or opening a bag of potato chips can and do produce MPs. Some tea bags even include MPs, and the act of steeping your tea creates MPs or microplastics right there in your tea. A little fun fact for you, it is estimated that 75% of all plastic ever produced is now waste. But while MPs are found regularly in highly processed foods, they are now being found in fresh water, in the flesh of wild fish and other animals, in honey and salts and other spices, and even in the edible flesh of fruits and vegetables. Some studies have found that as much as 60% of all fish species include some level of MPs. But how do microplastics impact your health? So it goes without saying that ingesting plastic is never a good thing. Many plastics are created using chemicals that act as, what's the word I'm looking for? Endocrine disruptors. So endocrine disruptors are chemicals that may mimic or interfere with your body's own hormones, just so you know. And these disruptions counteract the natural functions of your body's hormones, leading to adverse health effects and increasing risk of chronic conditions. And some studies have even found that ingestion of MPs leads to the same health risk as eating an unbalanced diet. But realistically, how large of a number of MPs does the average person, actually consume? Well, research has found that the average person consumes around 50,000 particles of MPs each year, and this increases up to 90,000 if you regularly drink water from plastic bottles. And it grows to 120,000 particles when you take into consideration the act of inhaling these MPs or microplastics from non-food sources. Now, you may be wondering, how can you mitigate the consumption of MPs? So the first suggestion should be familiar to you, I would think. Eat less processed foods. Study after study has found that you increase the number of MPs you ingest when you eat foods or drink liquids that have come into contact with really any plastic. I'm talking about, during manufacturing or storage or preparation at home. Each stage of that supply chain applies stress to that plastic product, which causes it to shed into the food or into the drink. If you can avoid it, don't eat those processed foods. Don't eat any food that comes into contact with plastic in any way. And building on that thought, whenever possible, try to choose, an eco-friendly storage approach, or maybe a utensils in that respect. So cook with stainless steel or enamel. Eat with silverware and store leftovers in glass containers. Wherever possible, like I said previously, remove plastics from your kitchen. When you do that, remove it from your kitchen, your prep, your food purchases, you lower your risk to those MPs. Now, I have a confession for you. This is something that I need to do. I have homemade chicken curry in a plastic container in my fridge right now that I plan to eat for lunch today. And I'll still eat it, but I'm going to up my food storage game after today. I swear, I promise. And the last recommendation they gave in this study is to stop drinking from plastic bottles. Instead, buy liquid stored in glass bottles or use a stainless steel water bottle or a glass water bottle. In my research for this video, the consumption of water from plastic bottles had the biggest impact on the amount of impure particles consumed. It doesn't help that if people drink from plastic water bottles, it's an action they likely perform daily in most cases. But it's amazing, isn't it? Even when we try to eat healthy, even when we try to eat local, we are still consuming MPs. All we can do is try to limit our exposure by not buying manufactured products, cooking in a plastic-free environment, and dropping the use of plastic bottles really across the board. All right, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I won't see you next week, but I'll be back on December 3rd with a new video. I'm Michael Nicks-Erickson, and thank you for watching. And if you're in America, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.